Whether it's through exploring or landscaping, sometimes there are some pretty incredible things stumbled upon where we least expect them. From Ferraris to ancient bones, here are some pretty strange things discovered in people's backyards. Glyptodon shell. While walking along through his fields, Jose Antonio Nieves, an Argentinian farmer, spotted something. In a small cave along the riverbanks that flows through his property, he saw a large round object with a stone-like appearance. He returned to his farmhouse outside of Carlos Spegazzini, a rural area near the capital city of Buenos Aires, to tell his family. They informed local law enforcement of the find and later returned with reinforcements in tow. Police, family members, and even local archaeologists came to investigate and discover that the object in the cave was at least several thousand years old. They were unable to move it as it was estimated to weigh nearly 2 tons, but paleontologist Alejandro Cremars confirmed it was the shell of a glyptodon, a giant armored land mammal the size of a VW beetle. It had lived in South and Central Americas during the Pleistocene epoch and may have cohabitated with early humans before becoming extinct thousands of years ago. It is also believed to be an ancestor of modern armadillos. Human remains. While it may sound like something out of Poltergeist, one Salt Lake City, Utah homeowner was shocked to discover human bones while digging a pond in his backyard in 2014. Uncertain of what exactly he'd found, the homeowner called the police. They extracted the remains and sent them to the state medical examiner for testing. A couple of days later, the test revealed the bones were indeed human remains, but they were roughly 1,000 years old and not from a recent murder. It was determined that the bones were that of a Native American and reported the find to the Division of Indian Affairs to determine possible heritage. Fallout shelter. After buying a new house in Woodland Hills, California in 2013, Chris and Colleen Otkashek got more than they bargained for. They knew a previous owner by the name of Alvin Kaufman, a nuclear engineer, had built a 1960s fallout shelter in the backyard, but assumed it was just a hole in the ground. What they found was a fully stocked bunker. There was a sleeping bag, medications, canned food, clothes, tissue, aluminum foil, and plenty of reading material. They decided to leave the time capsule as is and perhaps let the next owner deal with it. Marijuana. While digging up his backyard in Los Angeles, California to install some solar panels, Mac Reed made a very interesting discovery. He found what looked like a vault, so he called in a locksmith to open it. Inside was a duffel bag containing bottles of marijuana buds and baggies of other drugs worth upwards of $175,000. Though he admitted that he thought of selling it, he later called the police. At first, they did not believe him and suggested he bring the stash to the station. He argued that driving anywhere with thousands of dollars worth of drugs was a terrible idea, and they finally sent an officer. LAPD Sergeant Adrian Legaspi arrived and took possession of the drugs, advising Reed that he should remove the door to the vault so it was clear the drugs were gone. Worried his kids could fall into the hole, he instead left a note inside saying, "We found it," and called the LAPD. They confiscated it and are now watching the place. Sorry. Ferrari. In 1978, while digging in their backyard in Los Angeles, 2 kids struck metal, and lots of it. With the help of a small crew of men, they discovered the object the kids had unearthed, a Dyno 246 GTS Ferrari. Baffled by the discovery, local police began investigating how the car could have wound up underground. The car was removed from the yard, and the police discovered that the car had been reported stolen 4 years earlier. The Ferrari was worth roughly $18,000 at the time and had been owned by Rosendo Cruz. His insurance company had paid him $22,500 to cover the loss, so the car was returned to them and sold at auction. World War II bomb. It seems like nowadays new developments are springing up everywhere quicker than we can blink. One such development in Orlando, Florida, intended to build thousands of homes over a 12,000-acre area, but hit a snag. The area had once been a bombing range during the Second World War, and apparently not all of the unexploded bombs had been removed. The first bomb was discovered in 1998 near the newly built middle school, when 2 workers were injured by fragments while repairing the running track. Other bombs were discovered in backyards of the nearby housing developments. The Army Corps of Engineering launched a $10 million cleanup following the discovery and unearthed roughly 126 other bombs in the area, also saying there could still be more. Understandably, local residents were upset and multiple lawsuits were filed against the builders, accusing them of gross negligence. Well folks, that's our video. Let us know what you would do if you found any of these bizarre finds in your backyard down in the comments down below. And while you're here, why don't you check out these other videos, throw us a like for this one, and subscribe to The Richest for more interesting and bizarre content every day. Thanks!